Hey there, I'm Ashley, and this is New Day with Ashley. If you're looking for inspiration to make a difference and create lasting impact, then you're in the right place. Get ready to be encouraged by the stories of my guests who have taken risks, overcome challenges, and created opportunities. It's time to make the most of your new day. Today's guests have a passion for music, and I'm not talking just listening to or playing music, but rather inspiring kids to learn to play music. Bryce and Lisa Niemiller are the owners of Elevate Rock School in Fargo. They've said goodbye to the days of boring music lessons and hello to a new and exciting way of learning music through rock school. Bryce and Lisa, so great to have you guys here.
Happy to be here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So it's a
having
new
us.
day. That's what we're all about, a new
love it.
day.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are making such an impact on our community, Elevate Rock School, but for generations to come, which I think is super cool. So can you tell us a little bit about who you guys are?
Bryce, go for it.
Okay. Let's see if I can make a long story a little shorter. I grew up learning music on my own, borrowed the school's drum set, learned to play in the basement. I was from a small town in South Dakota, so I couldn't find drum lessons anywhere, so I just taught myself, started playing in a band when I was 14. Went to college, got my teaching degree in music. Wanted to be a rock star though, but mom said you got to have something to fall back on. So I got my teaching degree, and then I proceeded to gig for like 25 years. Oh. And fortunately met my amazing wife Lisa, and got off the road and just was. I think I've always kind of been entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. Just had that in me. I don't know where it comes from. But in thinking about music lessons, I thought, man, I love music. It's all I ever do, but music lessons just didn't really connect for me.
And you were teaching at the time.
Yeah,
right?
well, I taught through the years. While I was gigging, I had drum students at my house, and I taught a lot. I kind of just saw it from every angle, like as a 6-year-old, 9-year-old, 12, right, all through the years, trying to learn myself, taking traditional lessons. I took piano lessons. There just weren't drum lessons in Selby, South Dakota. But just kind of seeing it from every angle and every age. Then when I started thinking about teaching, well, you're right, Lisa, I was teaching, and one of my students said, I was teaching on the piano I learned on.
Wow. In
Selby, South Dakota. We brought it up here, and I'm sitting there probably like this. I had the pencil to tap the tempo out.
Metronome.
Having flashbacks. And the student said, now, don't get me wrong. I love piano. I adore piano. I play it every day.
You are phenomenal.
Well, thank you. I love it. I adore it. But the way I was teaching, the student said, this is boring. I'm like, you're right. So I honestly sold. I wish I had kept the piano, but sold the piano. I got all my instruments. I got my drums, my acoustic guitar, my keyboard, and we were in a twin home at the time. And God bless my family. When I look back, I'm like, how did we do it? But I took the smallest room upstairs because we had a bedroom upstairs, and our 3 daughters were sharing a room.
Wow. And
then the smallest room was my studio. And I had drums in there, guitar, keyboard, and I'm trying to, with Elevate Rock School, we have 5 teachers, we have the rock room, I was trying to do that myself.
In one room.
Because I kind of had the idea for Elevate in my mind, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. So I'm doing that, and then we started discussing the idea for Elevate, and I grew my students I was in the Johnny Home Band at the time.
Okay.
And I had 9 students. And I'm like, what Lisa has brought to the table for Elevate is really indescribable because it's so detailed and so vast, and really Elevate wouldn't exist without her. But the initial just kind of idea was from my experience as a kid and wanting to pursue music. But I had 9 students, and I'm playing in Johnny Home, and I'm like, I'm never going to grow my students. How can I create this music school if I don't have students? So I quit Johnny Home. Lisa was ticked off because I didn't have any money.
I wasn't mad. I was a little concerned.
No, I get it.
Well, from a general,
What are we going to do?
General concern, yeah.
So we started discussing.
And how long ago was this?
This was like 2009-ish.
Okay.
It was
2008.
maybe even earlier than that, because by the time we actually figured out the idea for Elevate and how we were going to do it, it was, we got a lot of no's at that point
Yeah.
to even get into our space. And we've been open for over 10 years. So it was a while ago.
So just to end my short story, which ended up being long, sorry.
It's great.
Quit Johnny Home, grew the student count to 80.
Wow.
And these were guitarists, singing, I was mixing it up. And Lisa and I were discussing what Elevate would look like. And it wasn't called Elevate at the time either. I think we were going to call it Rock Hero. So from then it took about 2 years of people telling us no, because we didn't have any money. We needed to have a space to lease. We couldn't buy a building.
Well, and people questioned what would we really be doing there, and would we be bothering other tenants,
Right.
and all this.
So sorry, from all of that, I get 80 students, and Lisa is my sounding board. She doesn't know we're partners in this music school yet. She's a real estate agent, and keeping us afloat because I had 9 students. And then we were blessed to grow that to 80. And fortunately, when you look back as an entrepreneur, it was really nose to the grindstone, hard work, but you don't, I guess, fortunately, you just keep going.
Because you're so passionate about it.
Right. Because we got told no for 2 years. I it sounds like a quick story, but I was teaching for years in our townhome.
Okay. So did you grow it to 80 when you were in your townhome?
Yes.
And you just throughout the day you would have.
Yeah, it was
Student
our neighbors. They were glorious.
Yeah.
They were wonderful. Before we got into our Elevate space, I was outside one day talking to a parent, and the student was inside drumming, and I'm like, "How are my neighbors putting up with this?" It was
Does anyone
so
else hear
loud,
this?
and my
That's
family,
pretty crazy.
it's from the afternoon on into the evening.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how
Well,
we
they
how'd
liked
we
what
do
you
it.
were doing.
Can
Yeah.
I was in the noise, so maybe I didn't care.
Right. I don't know.
You were trying to.
I think we were fine, and we were really happy when it moved out.
Oh
Sure.
my goodness, it was amazing
was
to
good.
move. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was how many years you were doing the lessons then?
Well, I taught through the years on and
Yeah.
off, but this Elevate idea, when I joined Johnny Home in 08 or 09, I had the idea. In fact, when I left Johnny Home, I'm like, Johnny, I'm sorry, man, because he's really sweet. The band was great, but I wasn't in the band less than a year.
Okay.
And I'm like, I had this idea in my mind and I knew, but when they asked me, I was flattered
Yeah.
to be asked
Great.
to be in the band. He was very gracious. And so it was about 2 years approximately,
Okay.
pounding the pavement, just, and, it's no fun to get told no because we needed a space. But we really hashed out the details in those 2 years. We sat on a couch talking
Talking about it. Yeah.
talking through it.
And
Like,
so
what's it going to look like?
Lisa, did you have any musical background then?
Well, I had the same experience as Bryce in that I took the piano lessons, and I had the teacher with the metronome and the scary look on his face because I didn't practice, because I didn't like what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do the sheet music that I wanted, and I wanted to play the songs that were on the radio, and I wanted to do all of that, but I didn't know enough on how to do that on my own. Bryce was way far advanced on that. I just didn't know. So I plunked my way through things, and I wasn't in it for very long before I quit. But I had the same experience, so I could really relate to that. And so when we started talking about it, I'm like, absolutely, that's what kids want.
Right.
That's what I wanted when I was younger. So how are we going to create that? And like Bryce said, we spent a long, long time figuring things out and getting to the point where we could actually open the door. And
So 2011,
Oh,
doors
remember-
open,
yeah.
and you've got now out of your townhouse.
So
You've
right,
moved everything.
because we had Bryce was full-time teacher and had all these kids, and then also Steve Stein at the time joined us, and he was our main guitar teacher, and he had all these students in his studio, so he moved a bunch of students to Elevate. So when we first opened our doors, and of course we had Carissa was with us, she was our vocal teacher, and we didn't have, I think those were the teachers we had just starting out. 3 teachers was all we needed. And
We were
then,
wearing lots of hats.
We were wearing lots of hats, and all of them are, of course, fabulous musicians. Lots of knowledge there. So anyway, we opened the doors with 80 students back then, combining everybody and with our new program.
So was this? I mean, this was somewhat of a new risk. You've already taken the risk. You already stopped your full-time job, and now there's another risk of now you're probably on the hook of a lease,
right?
In a space.
Plus a loan to actually make the space what it needed to be.
Sure, equipment.
All the equipment.
Now you have other people underneath you. Now we got to pay them.
Right.
So is this kind of a,
Well, it was like a go for it.
Okay.
This is what we need to pay people. This is what we have to have in here. So it was less of can we actually budget for? It was more like, well, this is what we need to get started. So let's just make sure and get this done, and then everything else hopefully will fall into place. And it did. But we didn't know. We didn't know price point. We started at a price that we couldn't keep. We had to increase the price to pay these fantastic teachers, and so we didn't know about that, but everything else really fell into place, and we hung in there.
Fell into place.
So
Lisa doesn't give herself credit. So I'm just gonna. I'm teaching at home. I have 80 students. I'm just gonna get some more teachers. No big deal. We're gonna teach them to rock and roll, and we're gonna jam. Right? No big deal. 2 months, give or take, and Lisa's like, okay. I don't know exactly what we discussed, but she was full-time with Elevate about 2 months in. And, I'm not joking when I say this. She's the CEO, COO, CFO, and whatever other titles there are. And I can see how people get paid millions of dollars a year to run a company. Sure. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, she's not charging me that much. But seriously, the detail, I can't say enough about the details that have happened behind the scenes.
Well, we're a good team. He's got the music, I've got the business, and yes, I was in real estate, and then probably, a month or two in, I'm like, wow, I don't have time to do both. Right. That's for sure. So that was another risk, is
kind of lean on you? Sorry about that.
Dwindling that part, and we didn't get paid right away. I don't even remember what we did back then, but it was like, thinking back, it is hard to realize how we did it. It was just a lot of faith and a risk, and just jumping in with 2 feet and going for it.
And figuring it out together. So like seeing those challenges, probably
figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Leaning on each other. So today now you've been open, 11 years?
10 and a half.
10 and a half. Okay. New location. You added preschool.
Right.
So, and what does it look like? Because I too was thinking, I remember taking piano lessons and I hated it. I wish I knew how to play the piano now. And I'm like, why didn't I just stick with it? Well, I needed something like you guys offer. I also played alto saxophone and also did not like those lessons. It was so boring.
Right. That's just, music is hard. It's not like you just walk in and you learn how to do it, and I guess the easiest way for me to explain it is like sports. You go in, you learn right away the fundamentals, but you also get to play the game.
Right, which is fun.
Which is fun. You get to do the fun part. When you're at basketball practice and you have teammates. Mm-hmm. So when you play basketball and you learn how to dribble and shoot, that's all fine. But if that's all you ever got to do is dribble and shoot by yourself, would it be as fun?
No.
So this way, the kids get to play. They get to, have teammates, and like Bryce said. So we're basically doing the same thing. While they're learning their notes and what has to happen to play their instrument and to understand their instrument, they're also having fun at the same time because they've got teammates and they're not playing alone and they're playing in a band. And then, not only that, is playing in a band is way different than just playing by yourself.
Right, yeah.
So there's so much.
Hear it all come together. Like,
yes,
we're actually playing that song, and songs that they like.
But also like, a lot of musicians, may not know both sides of it. So while they're still learning how to read music, they actually know how to play with other musicians, which doesn't always happen. Right. So we're able to show the kids how to do that.
So cool. It's such a neat concept that I think, yeah, like this would get kids interested. And now, again, like I said, for generations to come, like you're impacting these kids at such a young age to get them excited about music, which I don't know if there's like statistics out there about like people not being in band anymore, not, picking up musical instruments.
Right, because, there's lots of times at school where you could be a part of a team and join band and everything. And, that's another great way to do it, and different instrument options
Right,
there.
different types of, yeah.
Right. So these are the rock instruments that we're doing, whereas you may not get that as much in school, maybe when you get older and you're in the pep band or rock or, whatever options they might have. But
yeah, I like to point out that, like, personally as a musician, I'm not knocking classical piano lessons or concert band at school. It's just different. Right. So if it's not connecting for you as a teacher, you need to pay attention and try to help your student. And like, I was the principal, the lead percussionist for University of Mary. I'm very proud of that. Concert band is amazing. The Chicago Symphony blew me away. They don't have a single amplifier. They don't have an electric guitar. It rocked my world.
Sure.
So I love all of that. We're just talking about finding a way to connect with the kids, to meet them where they're at. So all of the things that we talk about, you said, we all say the same thing. I didn't like lessons. They were boring. I wish I'd stuck with it, but I didn't. All of those things that we think are boring, we have to teach. But they're not boring when the kids, they may not even realize it, but you don't just give them this lonely mission. I'm all by myself. I have to learn to read music, and it's just me.
Right.
There's these other dynamics that are very important to being a musician, but it also helps them stay with it. They have friends.
Right.
They pick songs that they like, because you can teach music through any song.
Yeah.
So it's
like, We Will Rock You. I've been to the concerts before, and it's like, oh, it's so good to see these kids performing all together. It's just, it's so cool to see.
But, I think the bottom line is that we support all of the genres and all of the opportunities in music. It's not just about rock music. It happens to be what we
Well, that's a
teach.
lesson in and of itself that we're like, okay, this kid is 7 years old or 12.
And what age do they start at? Or can they?
They get into the rock band program at 6.
At 7, about 7. So 3 to 6 is our Little Peeps program, where they're in preschool up through kindergarten learning the fundamentals, and they get to explore all of the instruments in that program.
Cool.
So there's no restriction on one. Plus, at that age, you got to go. You can't just stay on one thing.
They'll be bored.
We're motoring through several different things in the half hour that they're with us. So they get to do that. And then our older students, once they can read and they're past kindergarten, we feel that they're a good age to actually explore the rock band program. So that's at that point, they're picking the one instrument and focusing on that. But what I was going to add about the program is, not only are we doing music, we are empowering these kids to know that they can have huge successes in life and all the other things that they can do. I'm just like, I am so, how do I even want to explain this? Just, it's so important to all of us that they know that they can just achieve. The sky's the limit. It's not just all about music. It's about all the other things that we can teach them too. Their abilities that they can do. So, and feeling good about themselves and self-confidence and, all of that.
It's so simple, but, it's profound. Like, when those little kids come in, one of the things I always say to my students is, who's the boss? And they point to me. Or they say mom and dad. Sure. I'm like, when you practice, you're the boss. And they're just like blown away by this.
Sure.
And it's giving them accountability, encouraging them, letting them know that I believe in them, but also holding them accountable. Yeah. That they can do it. Because, I'll get, my mom didn't. And I don't even let them finish. I'm like, no, your mom's not taking drum lessons, you are.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're right. And I can just see they understand.
Right.
And then they feel empowered and
really ownership. Have them own up to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's just a pretty natural thing to just share with them that a lot of the principles we use in music you can apply to anything that you want to do.
Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
other like challenges that you guys saw? Like even like, we had the pandemic thing too. Mm-hmm.
That was wild and crazy.
Lisa dove in and solved it. Lisa's like,
Whole
Bryce,
new
buy
skill
some
set.
cameras on Amazon. Okay.
Right.
What are we
We
gonna do?
Here
were
goes that hat of, troubleshooting now.
exactly. I feel like we got the last cameras on Amazon. It was right before the schools shut down. I was kind of thinking, I don't know, we might want to get just some cameras just in case. And literally that Sunday school was out, everything was done, and we had to set all this up for our teachers to teach out of their homes, and it was crazy. And the thing is, our building, it took us a long time to get that rolling and approved for that financing and everything, and figure out the land. And, that was just a project on its own. And we actually got approved for the building during the pandemic. So that was another faith thing, because it was like, well, our numbers, I don't even know what we slipped down to during the pandemic. But we again took a leap of faith and went, well, this is something that we've been waiting for a long time. Yeah. Hopefully this pandemic won't last that long. And I think we were just a couple months in, we're like, oh, this is probably going to be done. And,
by the end of the school year, for sure. Yeah.
For sure. 30 days, whatever. So we jumped in with that, and I was a little nervous during that time because it lasted so long, and here we were building a building, and it was like, well, are we going to get back to where we were before? What we told the bank we were supposed to be at? Sure. I don't know, but we're just going to go for it.
And things have seemed to come around.
Yes, for sure.
And
We've
really
grown.
well. Yeah.
We've grown, and the preschool starting has been absolutely amazing, because now we've got that going during the day. So we have one class of 4s, 5s, and then one class of 3-year-olds now starting this fall.
So do they all get exposed to music then too, a little bit?
Yes, we have music every day. So our Little Peeps
Yeah.
program in the evening is basically transitioned to our daytime program, where they have hands-on guitars, drums, everything, microphones, that they actually have microphones. They can hear themselves sing.
Oh, cool.
So our Little Peeps is just a music class for preschool kids.
Okay.
Our preschool is a licensed academic preschool.
Right.
And then I don't teach preschool, but
Right. Yeah, it's
Sure.
a licensed preschool. In fact,
Which
we're
would
just
be interesting if you did. I could see you doing really well with that.
well, they all know him.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Bryce.
Yeah.
I got,
Cute.
one of them called me the worker guy, because I'm always like fixing something
Right.
or wrecking something. I don't know.
Putting up shelves.
Fixing what you broke.
I was putting up shelves, and I drilled into a pipe in the wall.
Oh, no.
So we're smelling, a little bit of sewer. No big deal. But they're like, who put these shelves up?
Yeah.
Just part of being a business owner, right?
Right?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
You
You
do
do
all
all
these
kinds of
different
things.
Yeah. Oh, so how about some of the best advice that you guys have either been given or that you would give someone else that's, looking to make a difference, make an impact, and maybe they're an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
need some encouragement?
I think you have to just go with your gut. And I think you need to just think about the people, how you're impacting people, and what you can do. And I don't think we'd be where we were if we were worried about every nickel and dime and where everything was going to come from and how exactly things were going to go. And I'm a huge organizer, so I shouldn't say that I don't worry about that. I do. I can't be, I have to be honest about that. I think about things probably way too much. But at the same time, there are a lot of times where I'm like, well, it's got to work out. If this is supposed to be working out, it's going to work out, and I'm just going to go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I tell parents will ask me, I really kind of want my child to play piano, or they're supposed to start in piano. And I say they should go with the passion. Music is hard enough, so if there isn't a passion there, how in the world are you going to? So it's the same for a business. That's a pretty short answer, but that's definitely important. Working in your strengths. I mean, when you start out a business, you're wearing lots of hats.
Right.
Not working in your strengths on everything. And those can be the things that you don't do as well and also don't energize you.
Right. I would say as soon as you can, you have to try to outsource.
Sure.
if we're getting to that, like I am not an accounting person, so I have to.
Me either.
Yeah.
My tax guy would second that. No.
Right. Shout out to Paget Business Services.
Yeah.
Speaking of shout outs, our team, I mean, we're sitting here, but our team, getting amazing people, how you treat your people. I mean, we love our team. They're family. And everything that we've talked about, all the work we've done, they've been an integral part of that. I mean,
how many do you have on your staff now?
I think we're up to 15 now.
Wow.
At our most recent. We're actually hiring again, so we have more spots open. But yeah, we started with 3 and now we're at 15. So there's a lot. And Bryce is right. Our team is fantastic. There's a magazine coming out that they were coming to do a photo shoot. And yesterday, well, I should back up. They took one picture of us, and we didn't really know exactly what we were trying to do with this picture. So it was just Bryce and I and Nathan, who's our music director, and Stacy, she's our program director. So it was just the 4 of us. And we all sat there, and we were like, this. And they were like, okay, move this way, turn this way. And so pretty soon, we were all like this and smiling and like posed. And then
Very
a couple weeks later, they sent us the picture. And I mean, it was a great picture, but we were like, wow, we look like we're like a bank. This isn't a rock school.
A rock school, yeah.
We have a lot more fun here. So we're like, can we do this again? I'm so sorry. So Geneva, bless her heart, she came and took another picture of us yesterday. And this time we had all of our team there. Almost all of our team. Couple couldn't make it, but we're all like, yeah, doing our picture.
Good.
I'm like, now that is us. So
I should have worn my face paint today.
yeah,
I was going to, and then I was like, I don't know. Is that too much? No.
Not too much.
So that's our team. It's just, we're a fun-loving bunch, and we just really love the kids and have a passion for music, but have passion for lifting them up and doing everything we can to make it the best half hour of the week, and just
I wish I could sign
having
up
fun
myself. No.
Well, we have a
Can you
few
put that
spots
next?
for
Yeah.
adult private lessons.
Do you really? Okay.
And we used to do adult bands back in the
Cool.
day. Yeah, I just saw on Facebook somebody just posted a video from 7 years ago when she was playing at the fair in her adult band.
Oh, cool.
And we kind of stopped doing it just because adults got busy and couldn't commit. And
And how many times a year do you guys have concerts?
twice a year.
Twice a year.
Once
Okay.
in the winter. That's usually at Prairie Heights, where they've been gracious enough to let us use the facility there. And then in the summer, it has been at Trollwood Park in North Fargo. Last few years.
yeah.
So one outside, one inside.
Yeah.
Totally different shows.
Yeah, like they get the big, at Prairie Heights, all the lighting and the fog and the big screens and the huge flown PA.
The kids they have no idea how cool it is.
Right.
Because it's all they've ever known. So they're
Sure.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Getting
did a
up on
piano
the stage
recital
and they're
with
like, yeah, I
stale
rock
brownies.
out. Yeah, I rock out on a stage with lights and fog and
Yeah.
cameras. I'm on the big screen. It's what they've always known.
Right.
They
And
don't
in the
know.
summer, we're in the grass at the park, and it's beautiful and a lot,
Yeah.
just total different. Well, we used to be at the fair, not too
remember
far from the goats.
Right. Same type of thing, though,
But
so.
what neat experiences, and they get this starting from a young age. So
Yeah, for sure. Even our preschool kids get to do that. So, like, our little peeps kids are all up there performing. And
And I heard on somebody was talking about t-ball and how it's kind of like football and wrestling and just kind of a fine mess, right? But they're just out there doing it. Or basketball. You watch beginners in basketball. They don't take basketball lessons for years before they play. They get out there and it's kind of a beautiful mess.
Right.
So just so people can understand, it's the same for music. It's not like they have to be ready to join a band. Sure. Well, my child's not ready for a band. That's part of the beauty of it.
Right.
And it's hard
That's
for
such a
people
good analogy,
too.
though.
It's
Yeah.
true. We
They're
hear
just-
that so often. It's like, well, I don't know if they're ready. Like, I think sometimes, people are afraid for the kids to get up there because they're like, what? They have to play this song? And how are they how are they going to totally nail it and be totally ready? Well, they're not. And that's just the whole point.
That's it.
They're
And
not ready.
We all get through it together. Yeah.
Right. They're 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, whatever. When they first start, of course, they're not ready. And they're not going to be ready for a long time. You know, professional musicians have to practice and get
Well,
better.
how about all of us?
Yeah.
Are we ever really ready for anything?
No,
We just have to
Right?
do it.
You
we just have
Yeah.
to do it, and that's how we
great
learn.
advice, Ashley.
Yes.
I'll give you a nugget.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, thank you guys so much. I mean,
Thank
for
you.
what
This
you
was
guys
really
are
fun.
doing in the community, like it's awesome. I hope more kids can get connected to Elevate Rock School. So thank you
Thank
for all
you.
that you're doing, and thank you for being here.
Thank
you
you
for
very
what you're
much.
doing.
Yeah,
is a great
this is awesome.
Awesome.
Wow, what a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so inspiring sharing these stories. Remember to like and subscribe below to the YouTube channel to stay caught up with new episodes of New Day with Ashley. And make sure to follow New Day with Ashley and KFGO on all social medias. The links are in the description. I'll see you in the next episode.